Okay. All right. We're back for another week
Let's go.
of the Triangle Splash podcast. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. So, once again, another quick intro. I'll just introduce both of you guys. So we have Turbo Chow, Brian Tang. I'm hosting Angus Lee today. And today we're going to talk about some NBA fantasy. So, just really quickly to kick things off, we'll start with Brian's topic of the day. Kick it off, Brian.
Okay, so my topic for the week is name a NBA fantasy player that you're most worried about after the first 5 weeks of the season and why. So since I came up with the topic, I'll go first. So the player I personally am most worried about is none other than the reigning Finals MVP, LeBron James.
LeBron James.
LeBron James. So
LeBron James.
he's 36. Coming off a short off season where he won a championship. He was named Finals MVP. But I think after winning the chip last year, the Lakers are scaling down his minutes. As you and everybody else can see, before each game, he has a different injury designation, whether it be an ankle, back, shoulder, whatever. Every game he's a game time decision or he's questionable. So I think to start, he has deferred a lot to Anthony Davis. And also the fact that the Lakers this year have a much younger and stronger team. For example, they have Dennis Schroeder, Montrezl Harrell, Wesley Matthews, and Marcus Gasol. So very deep and a younger team than last year. So he doesn't have to carry as much as his load. And I did some research and stats for LeBron the last 5 games. He's averaging the last 5 games, he's averaging 30 minutes per game, shooting 46% in the field and 67.5% from the free throw line, averaging 2.8 3-pointers made per game, 22 points per game, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 0.6 steals, and 0.4 blocks. So as you can see, the first stat of 30 minutes per game is already, not LeBron usual number. So I just can see that this is going to, continuing the lesser minutes per game and then the less lower production. So that's who I'm worried about.
Rightfully so. I own LeBron in my other league, and I thought I stole him at I think first round or second round.
Yeah.
And then he's been performing okay. I mean, his stats are not like jaw dropping, but at the same time he gets it done. But like you said, I think he's scaling down his minutes.
Yeah.
And then I'm still worried about him. Is he gonna be able to play with his son?
Yeah. But I think because in our fantasy league, he was drafted late first round.
Yeah.
I think at this point, he's a very, very good second or even third round pick. But as a first round pick, I don't think he no longer is a first round NBA fantasy pick. I think so.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, we say that every single year. I'm sure, we were talking about this 3 years ago as well, but, time will tell.
Time will tell.
All right, Turbo, how about you?
Okay. So for me, I mean, we're going to be talking about somebody that I own. I have done research, and everybody know obviously that his stats is gonna be his production is gonna be dropping, but I didn't know it's gonna be going down that hard. He's starting to worry me now. From the Atlanta Hawks, the power forward, John Collins.
Ooh.
So last year he was averaging 21, 10, 1, and like 1.5 blocks, with 1.4 threes make, as well as shooting at a clips of 58%. So going into this fantasy season, this is sort of like my rookie season in H2 H9 cat. So I was trying to combine the field goal as well as the free throw and the 3 with blocks. So I'm trying to look for those big men. That's why I had Cat and John Collins lined up in the first 2 rounds, because once you have those lined up, I feel like my percentage is gonna be very, very. I'm gonna be competing like every week with my field goal percentage. However, John Collins has been eaten up alive by his teammate Capella. I have no idea Capella would be. I thought they would kind of share the board a little, but Capella just won that big contract more and more. I mean, he pretty much he just eat up everything off the defensive board. And this year, John Collins is averaging 15 points, 7 rebounds, and a block per game, with shooting at only attempting closer to 8 to 10 field goals per game. He's still shooting at a very high percentage, but he's only 23 years old, and his production has been eaten up alive by Capella. I drafted him in the second round. Some people might say too early, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, I'm just looking at what's left. Like, I'm just looking at every player that have been drafted by after John Collins. I'm like, I can't really take those players. So, but then there's a lot of great value after the second round and third round still. So I think going forward for next season, learning this, I mean, I need to kind of just be more bold with my moves and how I pick them. So I pick the players that you think it's going to perform, but not at what rounds they deserve to be picked. That's kind of my lesson. But I mean, the jury's still out. Today, the game went to double overtime. I think he got 30 and 10 and like 2 blocks, a couple of threes, shooting at a real high percentage. So yeah, I think it's going to be an up and down season for John Collins, but then it's more going to be down than up unless Capella get injured, which I don't hope for. But man, second round, he's playing like 15 points and like 8 rebounds and like, oh man, that just hurts me. John Collins.
All right, and well, you can see my gear, my guy. I'm always looking out for him. Russell Westbrook.
My guy. Third round steal.
Third round steal. So at this moment right now, the Wizards still have not played an NBA game for like over a week. On top, Westbrook being injured, his quad injury that he suffered, and I think that's kind of related to what he had in the playoffs last year as well. I guess like his counting stats look great: 19 points, 9.7 rebounds, 11 assists, almost triple.
Third round steal.
Third round steal, but field goal percentage terrible, 37%. Free throw percentage terrible, 65%, and turnovers So, and everyone knows that Russ is a guy built on athleticism. He's 32 years old this year. Actually, he's turning 33 at the end of the year. So he's not going to be able to keep that athleticism up. But because the Wizards they've played pretty close games, so he's playing like 35 minutes a game as a 32-year-old, which is crazy. So that's probably going to go down. And also we're going to have to see how Washington moves forward, let alone Russ. Like they have like half their team is injured. I hear some rumors that, Wizards may try to shake things up. And as sad as it is to see a former MVP getting his career tossed around, kind of reminds me of Allen Iverson, kind of getting tossed around at the tail end of his career. So I see like a significant drop off for Russ, not only fantasy wise, but as a player. The counting stats will always be there just because he's going to play. He's going to play hard.
Yeah.
But if looking past the counting stats, I don't think there's going to be much upside. Like he's not going to suddenly go back into like a 80% free throw shooter, like 40% 3-point shooter, which he never was. So unless
you have to scale his expectations. Like he's no longer like a top 3 round, like first 3 round pick kind of person, right? Kind of guy.
Yeah, for sure. Moving forward, like 5th round, 6th round. Yeah. Basically, people are drafting him because of his name now.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you do draft him in the 5th or 6th round or even 7th round next year, then with those numbers, he could be a value pick and maybe even more of a steal, right?
All right. So I guess we'll take a quick pause and we'll transition to the next topic.
Yep.
All right, which is me. So, I don't know if there's a Cantonese term for catfish. So, little side story of what catfish means for the older audience. It's basically, let's say like you're on like a dating app, and you see this guy or girl that looks really good in the pictures, and when you meet them in real life, it's like, whoa, what the heck? All the Photoshop, everything makes them look so much different.